24 hours of programming, here's some bullshit that happened somewhere today. We've got some footage here of the bullshit, which began just after 3 o'clock this afternoon, when residents in this neighborhood were shocked to see this fairly common thing happening. An attractive witness described the event in breathless terms.
I went to my window and I was like, whoa, there's some bullshit happening.
That happened right over there. I'm an older man, so you can trust what I say.
Authorities in special uniforms rushed to the scene to stand around while our cameras filmed them. Our reporter Keith Collins joins us now live from the scene of the bullshit through the use of expensive technology. Good to be with you again, Keith. We have a colorful graphic here that shows instances of bullshit like this are on the rise. Is that right?
Yes, although why is unclear. Some say it's because of one fucking reason. Others say it's because of some other fucking reason. I talked to this random expert on the subject who told me this thing you're about to hear him say right after he points at a piece of paper.
Greetings, citizens of the internet. Well, unless you live under a rock, you probably know that Trump was indicted. And what a story. What a day. What a day. We finally got him. We finally got him. It's not even over the hush money that he paid to Stormy Daniels. I've already gone over this, but it's over how they classified the payment. So this prosecutor, this Bragg guy, is trying to make this a quote unquote campaign donation. And, you know, the Clinton campaign had to pay a fine for doing the same thing with how they funded the Steele dossier. But in that case, it's very obvious that the Steele dossier was being used for the campaign. Whereas with the Stormy Daniels thing, they have to be able to prove that he paid her to be quiet about the suit during the campaign, which she wasn't. And I think she ended up paying him money at the end of it all. Anyway, some photos went viral of fake photos went viral of Trump being arrested a couple days ago. And the liberal echo chamber has been salivating over this for a long time. So they finally got what they wanted. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to work to Trump's advantage. And I'll show you why at the end of this. So, you know, if you saw the news on any of the major channels, all you have to do is go to CNN or MSNBC's homepage and it just says Trump expected to surrender early next week. They can't wait for this event. They've spent I don't know how many years waiting for this. I mean, Trump's not president anymore, and he's still the excuse for everything. He's still the reason behind everything. He's the bad guy. I mean, they try to blame the recent train derailments in Palestine, Ohio on him, East Palestine. So, and I saw, what I thought was interesting is a couple days ago, I saw this headline that said, NY grand jury investigating Trump will break for most of April, court says. So it's odd to me that they suddenly came out and indicted him, because it's by all the signs kind of showed that they weren't going to do it. I wonder what eventually made them decide to do it. So rather than focus on this because it's a garbage story and, you know, it's not even related, it has nothing to do with Russia or the election. It's a political indictment, obviously. Let's focus on some stories that aren't this, like the protests in Europe. There are protests going on in 3 countries that the media is largely ignoring in light of covering Trump's indictment. There's obviously a big one going on in France that I'm sure you've seen footage of over Macron raising the retirement age. And he just left the country to go meet with China, ironically. And then there's one going on in Germany, actually. Here's a little piece from Reuters about that. It's basically airports and train stations are at a standstill in Germany amid one of the biggest strikes since the 90s. And you can see, you know, this video kind of shows all the flights that are canceled and everything. And then in London, a 10-day strike at Heathrow. And this says, after last-minute talks with Terminal 5 security, staff broke down. The strike promised to cause chaos to Easter travelers. So, oh no, Easter travelers are going to be inconvenienced by a strike. And, there's reports about how this is already causing problems. And amidst all this, stocks rise today from the AP. Stocks rise as Wall Street heads for winning March quarter, which is, given all the bank collapses and all the stuff that's going down right now, it's odd to see that headline. The petrodollar is about to be a thing of the past, according to all reports. You can see China and Russia and Saudi Arabia and all these other countries kind of aligning because of our terrible, bloated, belligerent foreign policy over the last couple of years. And, I'm an optimist, so I don't think that it's the end is nigh or anything. But it's interesting to see a report like this amidst everything that's going on. And with the Trump stuff, it's interesting to me. First of all, these companies like CNN and MSNBC love this because they make a ton of money talking about Trump, and that's, their entire earning structure was based on Trump for 4 years, and the fake Russia thing that was completely debunked at this point. And this Trump indictment makes me wonder what they're covering for, really, because you can see stuff kind of collapsing with the COVID narrative. They're dragging Fauci in to testify in front of panels, and now it's pretty evident that myocarditis is a thing, and there's plenty of reports of vaccine side effects. And I'm not even saying that the vaccines are safe and effective for most people. I got one. I'm not even going to lie about it. At this point, I'm not going to say I don't regret it, though, because I got it for my job, but I didn't need it. I had COVID before it, was a huge thing, and it didn't really hurt me that much. But that's not to say that the vaccines weren't great for other people, especially elderly people and people who are already sick. But that's a whole other ball of wax. The point of me bringing that up is just that it seems like there's a lot of very newsworthy things, and this is going to eclipse all of that. There's going to be weeks of, Trump debate on the news now. This is what they want. Everyone's going to tune in to see what's going to happen. It's what, stations like CNN and MSNBC who rely on a 24-hour news cycle need this kind of garbage to fuel the fire. And what's shocking to me is how many people still take the mainstream media seriously at this point, when it's just been such a joke on so many things. It's been disproven and on so many things, and it's our culture in the United States is so built around this water cooler, did you hear what happened with blank today type mentality. So it's silly. But anyway, I think all this Trump indictment thing is going to do is make more people like him at the end of the day. I know I've said this before, I was not a Trump voter in 2016, but over the years, just the constant, George Bush and Dick Cheney should be indicted for war crimes. They actually had a torture program and lied directly to the American public. That's been proven beyond a doubt. But they can go on talk shows and they're indicting Trump over a line item on a payment from, what was it, 6 or 7 years ago? I don't even know if it's possible for them to do anything to him for that. But yeah, it's just, wow, what a crazy world it is with that. So anyway, it's interesting to me too how I remember when the Democrats were defending Bill Clinton and his right to have a private sexual life of his own, even though he's the president. But when it comes to Donald Trump now, it's like the scripts have flipped, and the Democrats are the pious, moral, people who are, trying to thump a Bible and act like what Trump did with Stormy Daniels is anyone's business but theirs. And it's just odd. Anyway, watch this Trump video and, don't watch cable news.
Durham probe into the Russia collusion hoax.
President Trump has just been impeached on both Article 1 and...
The only president of the United States to be impeached for a second
January
time.
6th committee releasing its final 845-page report.
Former President Donald Trump has been indicted.
Remember this, nothing worth doing ever came easy. Following your convictions, means you must be willing to face criticism from those who lack the same courage to do what is right. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider. Embrace that label. Being an outsider is fine. Embrace the label. Because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead.
This is a party that wants an outsider badly.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
You must keep pushing forward. Never, ever give up. There'll be times in your life you'll want to quit, you'll want to go home. I can't do it. I can't do it. Just never quit. You will build a future where we have the courage to chase our dreams no matter what the cynics and the doubters have to say. You will have the confidence to speak the hopes in your hearts and to express the love that stirs your souls. And you will have the faith to replace a broken establishment with a government that serves and protects the people. They're not coming after me, they're coming after you. I'm just standing in their way. And I always will stand in their way.